Raven. I've identified the target. That's the mercenary who took your name. Let's see how far they can fly. On borrowed wings.
From Software has blessed us yet again. Year and a half after the fantastic Elden Ring, they have gifted us with a blast from their past, a new Armored Core title. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon is a fantastic return to the arena mission-based origins that really catapulted the studio into popularity. Don't be alarmed, longtime Armored Core fans. This is an Armored Core title going through beneath the new polish that From Software is now known for. We're both better and worse. How can I say it worse? Well, I'll get there, but it's just really a personal gripe with how some of the systems are kind of archaic of the times, but it doesn't really detract from the game overall. No matter, this is unmistakably a From Software title with its difficulty curve and how it leaves it up to the player to resolve how to come over whichever boss or moment that the player has encountered this time that they're stuck at. AC fans of old, climbing the stairs out of the basement now that From Software has acknowledged the old series, will recognize it, and new fans of From Software who grew to love their Soulsborne titles will recognize the difficulty and enjoy the new learning curve for this title. With that, let's dive into what brings Armored Core 6 back to the forefront of mecha games, and will hopefully help us see a revival of this theme and genre of mech-based titles. Let's go ahead and just lead off with the visual aspect. Armored Core is very pleasing to the eyes if you're looking above ground level. The rank and file drones and MT enemies you come across are nothing special, with their designs being pretty bland, but that's kind of what you expect from the rank and file enemies of any game. They are detailed enough that they're very clear to what enemy they are, so you know what you're dealing with at a glance as you move further into the game. What the game does an absolutely standout job is, in true From Software fashion, are the battlefield altercations you will have with LCs, HCs, and other ACs, the semi-sentient autonomous C weapons you will face in the boss encounters for the title. The mini-boss and boss encounters are truly something special to behold, and all their introductions and few shortened, sweet introduction cinematics will really help you see the actual detail and care put into these designs, particularly when dealing with the smaller craft such as other AC and the LC and HC enemy variants. This is particularly important for the smaller craft, as sooner rather than later, as both your arsenal and the enemy's arsenal grow, there will be missiles flying everywhere, EMP bursts, plasma explosion, proton shields taking up the screen, just explosions in general everywhere, debris flying around and whatnot. It's hard to see the minute details of the enemy craft finally in these situations, but from the little bit of intro cinematics you get, you are given brief moments of respite before the battles begin. You will be able to make out the enemy's armaments and the AC construction, while the untrained eye will just see a really cool looking mech. Beyond this, for a better look at each and other major enemy craft you fight, you can take a look at them from the in-game menu and some logs you can check out, or even further by beating their variants in the 1v1 simulation arena. Then you're able to rebuild the mech into your own usage, giving you an exact detailed view of everything about their craft, down to decals, paint schemes, everything. You then also have the C weapons, antique machinery that is being repurposed to impede your progress by an enemy faction. They are all autonomous devices hell-bent upon your destruction, and these are the more difficult encounters you'll find in AC6, so at least that I have found. These designs, for the most part, all differentiate themselves massively. The humanoid-looking mechs that instead range from giant mechanical worms to flying laser spider-like bots, to the more humanoid AI-controlled devices you'll encounter a couple of times. The design around these is unmistakably From Software in how detailed and memorable these encounters are, and will help any From Software fan feel at home within the title. Even the environment is designed masterfully in these arenas with these bosses to work with most of these encounters. Iceworm, well, probably the simplest designs of the lot, quickly has become, after 3 full playthroughs, probably my favorite boss encounter in any From Software title. It's an absolute spectacle to behold and participate in, and something I can see myself booting up again in the future just to participate in once more. Of course, we also can't ignore your own AC. The variety and designs for your outer AC parts and weapons can't be ignored. From sleek and rounded to something looked like it was riveted together in someone's garage, there's a style for all. Same goes for the weapons. You have your more traditional kinetic style weapons, which all look like your standard weaponry in any shooter, just much, much larger. Then you get into the back-mounted missile launchers, laser turrets, plasma cannons, deployable shields, your melee weapons, or flamethrowers, quadruped AC leg sets, tank treads, a hover tank set. The design put into everything is phenomenal and extremely unique. While the appearance of something might not be for everyone, someone will find joy in all of these items, and this is only taken even further by the robust customization suite, allowing you to paint each individual part in its own unique way or create a running theme across all of your equipped items. Beyond just the design of the mechanical aspects of the game, the effects created by the weaponry is something else to behold entirely and goes above and beyond. The trails missiles leave as they leave your backpacks and travel towards your target, the explosions of each one creates, the visual spark and impact from your kinetic weaponry on enemy armor or your own armor, the trail of plasma left by your weaponry, and the resulting purple explosion of effects, the streak of a laser rifle or shotgun towards a target. My personal favorite is the energy wave left from the Moonlight, a sword once again returning to yet another From Software title that's been in nearly every game they've ever created. Your eyes will feast upon the absolute beauty and the mayhem of the particles being force-fed to you as you dash around and through enemy attacks, peppering them with your own. Armored Core 6 is a spectacle to behold visually, held back only by its mostly bland environments outside of the boss encounter arenas. But the detail was placed in the correct places, so it definitely kicks on afterburners and leaves those visual woes in the dust soundly, forcing your focus on things that do matter, the AC designs and the boss designs. Nearly all of your mecha dreams can come true in this game. Nearly every type of mech you could want to build is available. Want to dual-wield machine guns? Go for it. Want to launch nothing but a barrage of missiles? Well, let me tell you, you can launch about 40 missiles at once with the correct arm weapons and back weapons equipped. Go for the high-tech up-close personal laser shotgun and laser sword combo with an added shield for defense. Hell, channel your inner Team Fortress 2 pyro and equip a flamethrower. Throw on some tank treads, greatly increasing your defense and equip load. Attach some quadruped legs, giving you air superiority and allowing you to hover and fly to better effect. Throw on some reverse bipedal legs, giving you immense speed and maneuverability, or just go for a good all-around build trying to recreate Gundam. The only limits really are your weight and energy load and what you can come up with everything supplied to you. The gameplay is fast and frantic and only ramps up the further along into the game you go, as you outfit your mech more and more and the enemies become outfitted more and more. Dodging missiles and incoming high damage munitions or lasers or plasma or your foe's melee attacks or even boosted kicks. It's just never that simple though. Each boss is a puzzle to be figured out. How to dodge their attacks, when to dodge their attacks, if you have to eat an attack, which one to eat, when the openings are for you to dive in and counterattack. Rinse and repeat, of course. You can also just go the other route and take advantage of your ability to build a specific AC for that boss. Take advantage of their weaknesses. Just build a giant tank buster. You can do anything. You don't need to be fast. Throw on some tank treads and soak up more damage. The enemy is fantastic on the ground, but rather weak in the air. Just throw on those quadruped legs. There's two ways to tackle each boss. Learning how to take them down with your personal AC that you've outfitted to be a jack of all trades, or build your AC as you see fit and need for each specific mission and encounter. There's not really a wrong way to play it. But if you're going for an S rank on a mission, do be advised, you can't take advantage of changing your build within the mission at a checkpoint. You do need to successfully complete it with the build you start off with. The mission structure is that of old AC games. You choose your mission from a list and occasionally have a choice of a mission to take over the others for a different objective or bosses. The big difference here is for Fires of Rubicon is that there are 3 different endings. One ending is only attainable in New Game Plus Plus. The other two endings can be completed in any order, the first two playthroughs, though it seems like one of the endings is better suited for your second playthrough, as a bunch of new missions relating to that faction come around, and new choices within the mission appear to be added as well for said faction. Some missions are altered completely, in fact. Bosses are changed at a surprise, so when you're finally used to just railing on that boss the second or third time through, well, surprise, there's a new boss. It's a new game plus system done right. It's a new game plus system done right. From Software for this title seemed to have gone to the school of Yoko Taro on how to add endings to a game. Only one prior AC had multiple endings for answer, but this goes above and beyond that. A full 3 playthroughs are well warranted. While starting the same, they change quickly, then change even more with new bosses to experience, new AC parts to collect and try out, etc. The alternate bosses you face through each different path increase in difficulty as well over that which they had replaced. The same goes for the finale bosses, culminating in a masterfully crafted NG++ boss that I was audibly excited for when I finally fell the opponent after numerous failed attempts and then finally one successful one. Next, let's not forget about the arena. Another option to play is the 1 vs 1 arena. It's a simulation. Various boss encounters from the game will be available to fight in this arena, and even more become available in New Game Plus and New Game Plus Plus. The big draw to this mode, aside from just kind of bettering yourself as a pilot, and the achievement waiting for you when you defeat all the arena opponents in NG++, is the blueprints for these defeated opponents become available for you to use and download and create your own copies. Some do require the usage of found parts throughout the various levels, and you can't access them till then. Others will give you a price to purchase the missing parts, but it's still a great way to see various pre-built functional ACs and iterate upon them yourself if you so would like. Finally, we do have your multiplayer arena. You have 1v1 or 3v3 team options, lobbies with winners or losers rotating in or out. Replays are available as well, so you can take a look at your triumphs to revel in them or defeats to try to learn from them. However, it is not crossplay. Your online pool is limited strictly to your platform you're playing on, so that's not really great. If one platform has a declining player base, good luck to those players. It is a decent-sized online PvP suite, though, and can help someone get plenty more playtime out of AC6 if they so choose. That is one of the things I did want to talk about. One of my gripes, and a little bit of the archaic nature of the title that I didn't quite like, but then again, I'm not necessarily exactly the target audience who's going to replay every single mission 50 times with 50 different builds to S-rank each mission with the 50 different builds. For me, my 3 playthroughs for the 3 distinct endings and all the arenal battles clocked me in at 31.5 hours on Steam. Plenty was spent listening to dialogue the first time I heard it. Time was spent skipping the dialogue then quickly line by line as it came up on my second and third playthrough, listening only for the new stuff. I'm not someone who had multiple builds I crafted. I had an all-purpose build I made my own. I was an AC pilot specializing in my chosen build like the other AC pilots you come across in the game. New additions were added here or there, but it was primarily always the same concept and the same build, just with a new upgrade here or there. If you do not make a ton of builds, if you do make a ton of builds, you'll get plenty of time in the assembly screens, but not for someone like me. Fires of Rubicon is not a long game. If you play it like I did, each playthrough averages to about 10 hours. If you are someone who is going to go through and do the bare minimum of one playthrough, you're not going to get the value out of this title, but at least at 31 hours, I felt like my money was well spent. I do think an opportunity was missed to bring some of the game's older systems into the modern world with, semi-open world states based on the zones where you can tell your missions all take place, but this was indeed a faithful and true callback to the AC games of old, and that's not bad all in of itself. It did help keep the game a bit smaller and easier to digest than have a slew of large open world games that we do have. Either way, I think it could have stood a bit more on the content side of just fighting the hidden battle logs and part crates within missions or S-ranking stuff, or relying solely upon multiplayer to really spread out the time or multiple different builds to play through the game. All in all, though, Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon is here for a great time, just not a long time. And perhaps it is all the better for it. It's focused, it's fun, it looks good, and it sounds amazing. If you're conscious of the length, like I said, 31.5 hours for me to have completed 3 playthroughs for all 3 endings and every arena fight completed. That seems a bit short for you and your wallet. That's fine. It's something I do recommend picking up at the first discount then, which is more than likely going to be coming with this next fall or winter Steam sale. If that's not a concern for you and you're like me and you think $2 per hour is a great value, especially for the fun there is to be had, pull the trigger on each of your arm's cannons and grab this title. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon is yet another resounding success from Software. It's a fantastic revival of one of their older franchises, and definitely their most beloved ones as well. We haven't seen this in over a decade. It's a fantastic new mech game available for people who just want to pilot a big old dumb mech and do big dumb mech things. I think AC6 is a must-play, honestly. It's a relic of old, brought into the new age, and updated adequately to meet modern standards, outside of my few gripes. Most of all, you're just going to have an absolute blast with this title.
That pilot, Rusty, it seems he knew who you really are. It won't matter. I've taken that contingency into account.